Welcome everyone who has joined us for a webinar live stream on Facebook on Effectus Group. Today, I'm going to share with you my knowledge and my experience. I will try to be as brief as possible regarding it. It will be about words that influence minds, and I really want everyone to be knowledgeable and experienced in the area of influence, because it covers so many areas. It covers so many fields in your life that it is important to know how we make decisions and what is influencing us. Though it is a very broad area, today I will be narrowing it down to the presuppositions, to the vocabulary and linguistics that we are using ourselves consciously and unconsciously, and how others, people, family, friends, businesses, how they're using these words and phrases for our influence. So to begin with, the seminar, the webinar title is Words That Influence Minds. And this is part of the Erasmus Plus project, which is about fostering social entrepreneurship and training youth workers about their skills, about employability, about business entrepreneurship and social initiatives. So fast forward, fast forward. Today, you are going to learn many interesting things. One second, yes. So most important is you will learn things that influence. How to increase agreement or disagreement when you are in conversation. What our brain is always skipping or missing. Many of you might be aware of that, but not know it precisely. You will get a few presuppositions to practice with. I will introduce you how they're being used in life and how you can be using in your life and life situations to be aware and to use it. And then I will explain how to turn person into a light trance. That's going to be a bonus for everyone who will remain until the very end of the webinar. So let's start. Let me stop sharing my screen and come back to me. All right, so to begin with, what you should be aware of that this content is from NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming Field, a practical branch or applied branch of psychology. So in NLP or in psychology, we have this term conscious and unconscious mind. Many people has a mix of it and has their own understanding how one or the other is being seen or understood in their own unique way. Though it is still considered and discussed the precise terms, I would like still just briefly explain how it works. So imagine in your brain, in your head, you have two walls, okay? So one wall is your conscious mind, another wall is your unconscious mind. Both of them has its own purpose. So unconscious mind is something that is not defined, something that is not framed. It is inertic and being influenced by any influencers around, weather, temperature, smells, sounds, feelings, and so on. Your conscious mind is something that is right here and right now, listening, watching, and thinking what I'm saying, if it's true or not. Okay, so what I'm saying is just my experience and my knowledge. You might disagree with it. I fully understand that. And I even encourage you to test it out and see how it works for you, okay? So when information is coming to your mind, we think that we actively process information and we reject what is not important for us. It's quite actually a myth and a false belief. when information is coming to us in our head through our senses, taste, smell, hearing, visual, and through the skin, it goes straight to our head. There is no filter. First thing that is meeting or welcoming the information is your unconscious mind. So anything, everything, and absolutely all around you is being registered and seen and noticed and recorded in your brain and your memory. However, you are only aware of those that you are consciously processing. So if someone said to you that you are short, or you are too tall, or you're not capable of doing something, it's been installed already in your head. It's just us consciously rejecting or accepting it later. Okay, so just keep in mind that whatever you receive as a food is going straight to your body. So be aware of environments that you're in. Be aware of music you're listening, of people talking around you. Be aware of markets where you're going, because all these noises, all these words and everything is being recorded and kept in your system or in your unconscious mind. Okay, so this is how aware we should be about information that we are intaking in ourselves, that we are encountering in our daily life. So now, as we are starting, I will try to be maybe in 20 minutes or 30 minutes present all information, and to begin with the rule of thumb, and that is a rapport. A rapport is a connection between two people, something synchronized that we both feel at the same time. For example, if I'm talking with a person or you're talking with the person, and you just feel how this person is feeling, you just agree with absolutely everything that he or she is saying, and you say, and in your mind you think, how great I'm feeling now, how well we are connected, how come we didn't spoke like this before, right? We all had this feeling that there was a person that we haven't been talking for a while or for a long time, and one day we just clicked like that. How did that happen? It happened because we matched with our thoughts, we matched with our values, with our body language, with our tone, with our situation, and so on. And that puts us together into one basket, into one whole, and that's how we think that, yes, this person is really valuable and important, and I want to be even more open to this person. So rapport is crucial, mandatory, and inevitable if you want to influence anyone around you. If there is no rapport, if there is no connection, if there is no understanding with the person, there is at least one doubt or question regarding what you're saying, the person will not listen to you. Okay, so your commands will not be followed by this person. Commands can be positive or negative. That is entirely up to you. And I really want to emphasize the fact that whatever you're learning here today, I encourage you strongly to use only for the positive purposes. And there are people who are doing this for the negative purposes or to benefit. But for you, as you become more aware now of what you're going to learn soon, you will be able to resist it or to be more influential in your own way. So the rule of thumb is always build a rapport in the first place, and then start to applying whatever is going after that. The next thing is what you are going to learn is how to agree or disagree more efficiently. So in our language, we are often very abstract or we are very precise. So if you see on the screen, or rather on the board, I will draw one line and one arrow up and one arrow down. Down is detail, up is abstract. It's basically zooming in conversation. You are going more abstract or you are going into the details. So let's say someone is having a discussion with you, right? And you want intentionally to show that you disagree with it, okay? So what you do, you go into the details. If someone said that your friend is gossiping around you, about you, right? So what you do, if this person is important for you who said it, you will don't mind. You will just pass it through, and you see, and you will say something more abstract, something more agreeable. You'll say everyone is gossiping. Gossiping is natural for a person, right? Hit the rock to someone who didn't gossip in their lives at all, right? So you want to keep good connection, rapport with the person. So this is what you're going to say. You're going to be abstract. You will go level up. But if you want to oppose this person, you will go into the details. When did you hear that? Who precisely said this? And what precisely was said? In what circumstances it was said? And getting into those details, into the narrative, person who said can lose himself. If he or she was lying, they can just be confused. If they said the truth, then you get the whole narrative. You get more story. You get more information to understand why this person was gossiping about you. And maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe it was something good, right? Next is if we take a framework of relationship, right? If if you want to break up with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, right? What we usually do, we find something to complain about, right? We find something to just nag, to comment, to criticize, to notice, and we do this unconsciously, and we do this consciously as well, intentionally, as I say. So what we do, we are building gradual disagreement, right? We go into the details of our relationship. We're going into the details of our experience. If we were on vacation, you always find, oh, the weather is too bad. You are late for the meeting. You didn't book the tickets. You didn't have a change. You didn't like to take taxi. You didn't take the water, and so on. So we always find the reason to attack the person, to criticize or to comment, right? And that builds this disagreement, and that is detrimental for the relationship. However, when we are meeting person, when we feel this pink glasses on our eyes, we tend to not see all of it, right? We go into the depths, right? If your pair, if your lover sometimes said you are lying, you say, it's fine. I lied him or her also some days ago. It's fine. If he or she misbehaved, you say, okay, it's fine. It's just one time. Everyone is doing that sometimes in their lives. So what you do, you go to the abstract, you make it general, you generalize it, and you make it as a common fact. And that is more calmer for you and more better for relationship. And that works absolutely everywhere. If you want to agree and build a good connection, you go abstract. I like roses. Yes, I like flowers as well. I like spicy food. Yes, I love to eat food as well, right? So if someone is suspect, I will always go abstract. Someone says, oh, I like spicy food. I don't know, spicy food is dangerous. Spicy food can, what exact spicy food you like? And for example, I don't know, it can come up to your mind when you have a situation. Just go into the details, right? So these are two basic things, two principles that you should keep in your mind when you have a conversation or a situation with someone. Okay, so now we're going more into the linguistics, into something more concrete, right? That would give you tangible results. So what politicians really like to do is to give you options, to give you opportunities, right? A or B. So for example, I say, Would you like to eat steak or a fish? In your mind, you only process two things. I have two options, fish or steak. Regardless if you are vegan or you just want to eat a salad or you just want to drink a coffee. You will choose one of those options if you're less conscious or aware of the possibilities that you're going to do. What politicians like to do is they say that we are going to build the roads and we are going to build the buildings, right? And people only see those things in their mind, right? When you have election, you have only certain amount or number of candidates. That's also a limit for you to choose, which is not all the time good. And this is what you should be aware of. If someone says to you, look, we have this option. We can either go now or we can leave it. And that's it. We even though we would like to find a third solution, we always choose this one. So what to do in this, have this option. The first thing is to remember when you have options, if you really want one of them or you don't want any of them. If you don't want any of them, what you do is you give your options, you give your alternatives. And that requires actual thinking, okay? If I say we are going to eat steak or fish, you say, I don't know, fish or steak is good for you, but I would like to drink coffee because I just ate lunch, right? If you are in the work environment, someone says you should be doing emails and the calls, and which one you can do the first, and you say none of them. What I really would like to do is to organize meetings, to conduct meetings, to meet the clients and so on. So being aware that options is actually limiting you is a huge power, and we always like to limit ourselves, right? We can either study A or we can study B. We do not consider option of rejecting them both or taking them both or combining them or delegating tasks for someone else, right? We just put ourselves in the frame. So whenever we have choices in your life, just give a pause and you say, okay, these are two options. I have more, and just write down what are the options that you can have. And that is requiring you creativity and being outside of the box. Be creative. Okay, but the antidote of this, I have a statement that I always use for myself, or a belief that there is always a solution. There is always an alternative. And when I keep this in my mind, it's always working. So keep your mind focused on solution, not on the option. Okay. So that is one. The next one would be. Okay. So then, alternative of if. So let's say if A, then B, is it acceptable? Acceptable. Okay. So A is the condition and B is the result. For example, this is often used in sales. If I tell you the secret how to influence people, then you will be able to influence everyone around you. Is it acceptable for you? Yes. If I do the homework, then okay. If we take the family or growing children context, we say okay. If you do the homework, then you will be able to go out. Is it acceptable? And if a son or a daughter says yes, then they are unconsciously committing and indirectly committing to you to do the homework, and then they will be able to go out. It's this combination is way more effective than just saying do the homework and then go out. Okay, if we take the work environment, we say okay, if you do this report correctly, then you will get your bonus and promotion. Is it acceptable? Yes. The person again is committing indirectly to do the task. Okay, so if is the way how to influence on or how to put person into the position. The next one is okay, adding the time. This one I like the most because it's very flexible in the time frame. For example, we take work, okay? Most common question, when do we meet? Right? This is a very open question and gives you choices from this second till the day you die. This is very, very, very open question. If we add a time frame, when today do we meet, then the person is framed and he has to choose in this day, right? If we say when this week, right? When this week can you do the task? And the person is already committing and thinking about the frame of the time frame of this week. This is also in indirect way to add the deadline to the task. Okay. Also in the family context, when can you take trash out, right? And you say maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe this week. And if you say when in 2 hours can you take the trash out, the person says maybe in half hour, maybe after an hour. Okay, so this is how we narrow down the whole context. With this is how we narrow down the conversation and the putting person to commit actual event. What could be the challenges regarding that? Is to be aware yourself that you're putting person into the time frame, and be aware of the time frame that you're putting person into. Does it make sense or not? Like when today you will build the house, right? If that doesn't entirely make sense. If we take relationship context, right? Darling, when this year we are going for vacation? When this summer we are going for vacation, right? Or if we going to narrowing down, it can also be our location. Where are we going for vacation, right? It's very open question. But if you say where in Europe we're going for vacation, where in Poland or Lithuania we're going for vacation, then you are narrowing down to the specific context. And if you want to go to a specific country, to a specific city, you can just add the word, and that's indirectly presupposing your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend what area to choose, and from there you can just take a direction downwards. Okay, so adding the frame, the time frame when you want it to be done. So when today we're meeting, when today we're going to sign the contract, when now you can sign the contract, right? Or what it takes now for you to decide to sign this contract or paper. Okay, yeah. When now is the best time to make a call. Okay, the next one is really powerful, and many of us are using. This is a linking word, but, right? So our brain is very interesting organ, and it happens that let's say we have two sentences, right? If we are giving feedback, you did a bad job, I like you, okay? So we usually say, we're trying to be nice, so we say, I like you, but you did a bad job. What is the feeling that you are getting inside you? I like you, but you did a bad job. I like you, but you're not as good as I thought. I like you, but I like the meal, but it could have been better. The feeling is usually negative, right? What if we oppose them or swap and we say the meal wasn't good or was bad, but I like you. The thing that you done was bad, but I like you, right? And just swapping along those two positions is changing everything, right? How you're giving feedback. You did a bad job, but you're a good employee. You're a good employee, but you did a bad job. If you really want to be aware or unconscious about how you're choosing the words, this is the most powerful thing. And another important thing to keep in your mind when you're choosing word but is that the first sentence that you are usually that you are saying is usually being deleted, and the second sentence is staying in person's mind. So whatever you want person to keep in his mind, you say after but. Okay. Do we need more examples? If you have questions, guys, please ask. You have space and ground for that. All right, so the next one that is, we are going to the part that what our mind and our brain is usually skipping. It is word not. So we all had this situation when someone said to us not to do something, right? We all had a situation when we told to someone not to do something. And I want to ask, was it effective? Did the person listen to what you said? Most likely, at least half of people who heard this phrase, don't go there, don't do that, don't touch that, don't turn that, don't pull that, don't push that, they don't listen. Because in our mind is deleting, skipping word not. Because if I say to you, don't think about pink elephant who is barking like a dog and has 100 legs. Don't think about the cloud that is shaped like a house. Don't think about the lemon melting in your mouth. Don't think about the chocolate melting in your arm and smelling like a banana. All these things are working in your mind directly. Why? Because consciously we do not filter, it's going straight to our head, and our mind doesn't, and our conscious mind does not process very well word not. So when you're saying when you're saying next time to someone not to do something, try to change it into something positive. For example, don't go there. You say go the opposite way. Go that direction. Go later. Be aware of this, right? Check the left and right before you cross the street. Don't complain, right? We always say we don't like. I don't like when you complain. You say I like when you are enjoying your life. I like when you're smiling. I like when you're always mention good things. I like when you talk about positive things, right? Then the person is thinking about what exactly you're saying. When you're adding word not, it's just thinking about the things that are negative and they should not be doing. Yeah, so this is really powerful, and always keep in mind in personal or professional life. For example, if someone says in relationship. Don't keep your dishes in the sink, right? Maybe very common between men and women. Don't keep your things in the dishwasher. Don't leave your makeup on the table, right? So this is all our complaint, and person will not register it. What you say, please remove your makeup from the table, please wash your dishes, and so on. Then the person will be listening and registering it consciously. Okay, and the most fun part is how to put person into the light trance. So as I said, like our mind is very inertic, right? We think in patterns. Do you consciously think about how to lift your feet and go forward? Do you consciously think how to raise your shoulder, how to turn your elbow, how to turn your wrist, and how much to squeeze the pencil? No, you have this unconsciously as a habit. So we also think and behave in habits. And the marketers have this technique or a trick that is called a 3 yes. 3 yes. So let's say you want someone to you want to convince someone to bake you a cake, right? So this is the, let's say, the fourth sentence which they have to commit. Okay, so keep in mind you have a rapport with the person, you have a good connection with the person. So what you need to do, you need to get 3 answers yes before you get 4th answer for your question. Okay, so let's say first you ask, have you ever made a meal? Okay, answer of course yes, right? Second is, have you ever thought of making something new? Yes, of course, why not? Okay, have you ever thought of baking something? Yes, of course, why not? Would you like to bake a cake for me? And naturally, we will be tending or eager to say yes. Now, it is not a guarantee 100% that person will say yes all the time for everything you will say. But if you choose the right combination and the more yes you will hear before what you want, you will get a really good result. You will get what you want. And this is a really powerful technique. If you want to get a girl's number, for example, or a guy's number or any other contact, you just ask, so your name is this, right? Yes. You have a phone, right? Yes. Did you enjoy time spending with me? Yes. Can I have your number or email? Yes, of course. And you just follow this pattern and you always get a person committing to something. Now, this technique also has alternative in an NLP world, which is a bit different, but in a way similar. So we have first statement, we have second statement, and we have third command. Okay. So the rule is first 2 statements cannot be questioned, and the third question or statement is your command. So first 2 can be more, okay, but the idea is that you have at least 2 statements which are not questionable, and in the person's mind, person will say yes, and will agree. So you have been listening for me at least 1 minute, and you are still listening me through your online device, which means you enjoyed this webinar, right? It's quite rough. I just came out with it, but you can sense the feeling. If I say we are many listening to this webinar, it's going so far more than half hour, and that means we learned something new. Okay, so first, yes, we listened everything. 2, yes, it lasted more than half hour. And third, we inertically thinking, yes, we learned something new. But I mean, it is questionable fact, but we do not question that. And that is also very common in the sales world. First two sentences that are not questionable, no doubt about that. And the third one is your comment. It can be more than two, and here can be more than three, yes, and until your comment. Okay, so that is it. That is briefly what I wanted to share with you. I tried to be as precise as possible. I guess I shared everything I wanted. Yes. So the reason why this technique is working is it is reducing our consciousness. It's reducing our awareness to what person is saying. That's why when we are somewhere in a seminar or a lecture, and in the beginning person said something that we cannot oppose, we are eager to accept everything that person will say later, which can be questioned. And everything I said now can be questioned, can be tested, can be ignored, can be denied and defied. It's up to you to test it out. Maybe I was right, maybe I was lying, maybe I was wrong. So it is entirely up to you how you will test it out and how it will work for you. We would really enjoy to see your results, to hear from you. How did it go when you tried one or the other technique yourself? So feel free to write us a message or comments, or just contact us and say what worked, what didn't work. Maybe we can consult you for free and give you better inspiration on how to be more influential on the language. Just want to mention that in July we are going to have on-site seminars where we will be going deeper in this linguistic patterns, where we will be learning more about reframing, framing, about influencing person and getting the right answer that we want and committing person to certain ideas. So regardless that that linguistic part of communication is just up to 9% of overall communication, it is really still powerful and can be really influential. So guys, if you have any questions, I really would like to answer them. If nothing is there, then we can finish. Okay, a few more minutes. As I can share one pattern that I just remembered also, which is very powerful, and knowing it means that you can achieve great things. So let's say you have statement A and you have statement or command B that you want to achieve, and in the middle you add which means, for example, the more you train and the fact that you are training hard and been exercising according to do all rules means that you will be a great athlete, means that you will be strong, means that you will lose the weight. The fact that you have been listening all this seminar means that you will be an influential person. Reading one book per day means at the end of the day you will be the smartest person in the room, right? These two sentences does not have to match. These two statements does not have to have a connection. The whole magic happens in two words, which means or just means. And play with it, play with your friends, with your colleagues, and see once to try it more often, you will see and realize how powerful it is and how fun it is sometimes to play with the people. So I wonder how much this week you will practice your linguistic part of this seminar, and how many more comments I will be seeing or messages we will be receiving after this webinar. All right, so thank you very much for your attention, for your time. I really enjoyed having you on Zoom and also live on Facebook. If you have more suggestions or ideas for us to tackle, feel free to comment and write to us. And thank you very much for your time and attention again, and farewell.